Hey guys, welcome to James Cornerstone Vlogs. Today I'd like to speak a little bit about Satanism in heavy metal and playing your records backwards like a lunatic. Now, back in the day, back in the late 80s, it was the in thing to stick a record on your record player and start spinning it backwards with your hands and trying to hear whether you can hear these subliminal messages that were supposed to be put onto records. Now, more than likely you've probably seen this film. This is the actual soundtrack record to a movie called Trick or Treat. Let me get that in the camera there. Crazy motherfucker on the front cover there called Sammy Kerr from the movie. Had Gene Simmons in it from Kiss, had Ozzy Osbourne. Great cast, great soundtrack. Trick or Treat. If you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you go and watch it because it's a belter of a film. What it was about a kid who played his record backwards, and his hero idol who died came out of the speakers and started whacking all the people who bullied him when he was in high school. Now, Judas Priest were actually brought to trial for this. Rob Halford was put on trial in America because two kids listened to the Judas Priest album, this album here, which I bought on record probably way back in 1991. This is a 1978 stained glass Judas Priest record. It's called Stained Glass. It was first released in, well, this print was 1978, and it had a song in it on the back called Better By You, Better Than Me, which is the song in question which was getting shown and in the courtrooms, and it was played backwards by these analysts who were looking for subliminal messages in heavy metal music. And what they found was, they found all kinds of subliminal messages, so they claim were subliminal messages. If you actually play a record backwards, now, I never played this record backwards because this is a classic album, Judas Priest, Stained Glass. I'm not going to play a record like this backwards and ruin my record. Most people wouldn't if they had any respect for music and heavy metal. It's just a pile of rubbish that was going on. But a lot of teenage kids decided to play their records backwards and see what they heard, you know. Now, I did play a record backwards once, but it was a shit record. I'm not going to play any of my heavy metal backwards and ruin my records. I played back some crappy record that I had. I can't remember what it was, but I played it backwards. And if you listen to it and you keep playing it back, listen to it, you'll hear shit that isn't in there. And according to the people who were listening to the Judas Priest record, they heard things like Do It, in Better By You, Better Than Me. They were analysing the track. And Rob Halford had to actually go to court to defend himself, to state that he never put subliminal messages on that record, and that back in the day when he actually made that record, they could barely afford their lunch, let alone afford to get some guy to actually put subliminal backwards messages like they're supposed to be on Led Zeppelin albums and all kinds of stuff. I think they were analysing a Queen album as well, which I think it was Another One Bites the Dust, and they were playing the record backwards, the actual single Another One Bites the Dust, and if you play that record backwards, you'll hear My Chair Is Broken, My Chair Is Broken. They believe that subliminal message was put on the Queen album as well. I think they need shotguns to the side of their head. But what happened was, in the Judas Priest one, they listened to Better By You, Better Than Me, and two kids who listened to it heard the words Do It, because they kept playing it back. They were supposedly playing it back for hours, and it's going, do it, do it, do it. Grab the shotgun. They got a fucking shotgun, yeah, and they shot themselves. I mean, they shot themselves. They listened to the album, played it back, and it gave them the courage to blow their brains out. Probably because they were suicidal anyway. They went to some playground and they just blew their brains out. Fucking crazy shit. And, you know, a lot of people wasted their records after that just by playing their records backwards. And I think the record companies made a lot of money after that, because you had all these moronic pricks playing their records backwards, destroying them. It destroys your records. That's why I still had these records. I'm not going to play these records. I mean, classic Judas Priest album. You're going to play it backwards and with a needle and break it. Fucking jokes. But while I'm here, I'm going to show you a couple of the heavy metal albums I do have, because I kept some of my favourite ones. I did dump a lot of them, because I didn't have the space for them. I couldn't be bothered carting them when I move about. But this is the Shocker soundtrack. This is a very, very cool film about a guy that jumps in and out of people's bodies. He's a crazy bastard. He's like a serial killer. He travels through electricity. This has got some great thrash music on it, this one. The Shocker movie. It's a movie and a soundtrack. If you can find it, pick it up. It's got some great heavy metal stuff on it. Old Horace Pinker. I've got a couple of Alice Cooper albums here. I've only got 2. These were actually given to me. I'll show you this one first. This one's got a cool calendar. This has got a 1972 album. This has got a calendar from 1972. Alice Cooper's decided to hang himself on this one. I don't even get that in the whole picture there. Yeah, he's hung himself. I'm not sure how that's coming out on the camera, but yep, that's him hanging himself. And the other one is the infamous $1 Billion Babies, which is, this is the original record. I'll show you the inside. It's like a wallet. It's a wallet shaped. When you open it up, it turns into a wallet, like so. See, inside of a wallet, it's got the picture of them in their white getup, and then it's got, well, the note's just falling out of the wallet. I'll show you it. This is the $1 billion note that came inside the wallet. It's a little bit torn at the top or on one of the sides, but this is actually a $1 billion note. Probably one of the biggest notes. You probably wouldn't be able to use this in the shop because I'm pretty sure they'd see something wrong with it. You could try and take it to a bank and see whether they actually let you use it. But I highly doubt it. Chances are the police will come and you will get carted away to your local nut ward. But hey, you can try. Anything could be tried on this earth. So yeah, that's about all I really have to say in it. Do not play your records backwards, because I think at the time also there was a lot of people trying to draw it into kids' minds that if you play your records backwards you'll hear these things, because it was a marketing scam also back in the day that if you played your records backwards you'd have to go out and buy more records because you'd end up breaking your records. Playing them backwards does not do you any justice. So yeah, that's all I really have to say in this video. Peace out.